Good morning. This is Mark Sobowitz for a Clarion Voice. We have a lot of ground to cover today, so stay tuned. Good morning. This is Mark Sobowitz for a Clarion Voice on Tuesday, November 12th. And we hope that you're enjoying your Tuesday and thawing out from the cold overnight. But like I said a moment ago, we have a lot of ground to cover. And so, first of all, I want to let you know that this is going to be the last broadcast of 2023.
So let's talk,
so,
Mark. What are you doing now?
Say what?
Are we going to be talking first?
Oh, we're going to talk first?
Yeah, we're going to have a little conversation here. Good morning.
Yes. Hello, Mike.
Live from the Hub Studios in Atascadero
Yes.
for the last time at this studio.
Right.
And why is that, Mark?
Because we are moving.
We are moving
to
a new
7070 Morrill Road and Suite A, right? A? Okay. And so we're going to be doing that starting in January on the 2nd. January 2nd will be our first broadcast of 2023.
We hope.
Yes, we hope, right?
If we get everything done.
Yes, exactly. So
because we got a whole new studio to set up, so it's
Yes.
going to be challenging.
Yes, indeed. Mike is taking on a lot of responsibility and converting the new space to standards, for all sorts of things. There's so much promise in the new building. You won't believe it. Wait until you see the studio. Oh my goodness! When we come on the air sometime in January, then you'll see what I mean. It's really very exciting, so we hope that you'll visit us. As a matter of fact, on January 1st, New Year's Day, we are going to have an open house. And so you are all welcome to come to the open house. It starts at 6 o'clock on January 1st. And we're going to have all sorts of refreshments, and you get a chance to see the new building and where our studio is. And so you are very welcome to come and visit us. The more the merrier. And also, I wanted to mention the fact that we have a special promotion that we're going to be engaged with starting in January. And so it's very exciting because it's something that we've not done in 4 years of a Clarion Voice. And you'll be very excited to see that. And this is going to give people the opportunity who watch a Clarion Voice to take part in this promotion, because it's a product that I'm taking. I won't give you too many more details yet, but it's a product that I'm taking, and you'll see. We're going to. I'm going to just hold it out there as a carrot, so that you don't get too ahead of time. And the other thing, I want to thank those people who are supporters of a Clarion Voice, and those people that watch us on a regular basis and subscribe. I am so glad that you do that, and we do this for the love of the gospel. That's why we do this, and we are so grateful for everybody that supports us. And I personally am grateful for Mike and for Debbie and for Selena when she's able to be here, who back us up every week. And so I wanted to get that out beforehand. And so I certainly hope that you will stay with us in 2024 when we start again with the Clarion Voice. So today's subject is going to be about, where are you grazing? Referring to sheep. This is not an agricultural show today, by the way. This is there's more of a definite reason for why we're talking about sheep. Mike, good morning. Hello.
I thought we were gonna do the small talk in the beginning. We talked about that.
Oh,
So,
okay.
so Debbie, when you hit on comments, you can actually let their comment if someone does comment and have it go right on screen. Yeah, look at that. Isn't that cool? It's something they have now. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So
Look at
if it's worthy, you can do that. I forgot to tell you.
that.
See, we're all learning all this stuff as we
Okay.
go. So,
Um,
good morning, Mark. How are you
I
today?
am I'm sort of here and
A
sort
little
of not.
challenge. If you had some
Yes.
devastating news this morning.
Yes, I did. I got a call from my ex sister-in-law, and unfortunately, my younger brother Richard passed away over the weekend. He was 3 years younger than I was.
So it's
He's
very
sick.
unexpected.
Hmm?
So it's unexpected.
Yeah, totally unexpected. And so that was the way I woke up this morning, unfortunately. But I am here because I love the Lord and I love the gospel and I love the people that watch. And so I'm here because I'm serving you today with a heavy heart. And
But it helps also for your
yeah,
keep your thoughts on the Lord.
absolutely.
You know,
Set your mind on the things of the Lord and not the things of the earth.
exactly. There you go.
So that's today's premise.
Yeah.
So, anyways,
So yeah, I mean, if we are His and we are the sheep of His pasture, and if it's His pasture, then He's going to get us in the best spots because that's what the shepherd was all about, finding the best places to graze for the sheep. Because why? The sheep don't know.
right. I mean, sheep are
Sheep. Eh,
they're purported to be dumb. You know, I mean,
well, I've seen some recent video of a sheep that was stuck in this culvert or like a rut, in the mud. And this person, has just spent all this time just getting them up and out of that rut, because they couldn't move. They were stuck in there. So once they got them out, they started jumping around and boom, went right back into and that's
oh
where the video ended,
oh my
so
gosh,
that's a sheep. I mean, there's other animals like, turkeys. They're not very intelligent either.
right?
But, the Lord, because of the amount of sheep and that were in Israel, right? It was easy to make that clarification for people. We are the sheep of His pasture, and so we tend to get our food from there if we are what following the shepherd. But once we stop following the shepherd, we end up grazing in places that aren't good for us. Like I know cows, they can't eat clover. It
Hmm.
makes them gassy, and it'll kill them if you're not careful. So they got to do extreme measures. I'm not going to get into any details because it
Right.
grosses me out thinking about it. To clear them out. My brother-in-law actually, when he lived in Utah, worked on a farm when he was in college out there, and he had to, do that. It's just it's a necessary thing, but to know the best places to graze, you only know that if you're sticking with the Lord.
The question is, though, is that are you grazing in the right place, so
Right.
to speak? Because I mean, I think people are led astray uh, to follow beliefs that are not in accordance with the with the Lord, and they just I don't know if they it depends on the individual's life and whatever, but it seems to me that people are going out on their own to follow whatever seems to be popular
Mm.
and just seeing okay, well, that looks nice, I'll just follow them.
Right. Because, yeah, some of it, some of it has to do with media. And once you get started in this and you put something out there because you're watching everybody else put stuff out there and seeing this person put this out there. Wow, look how many likes they get. I would like that many likes on my post. And so you post something similar and you start getting likes. Oh, that just, ooh, you know, I did another one. And then you get popular, you know,
Right. Yeah, and that's
and
something
that's
you see that's
it.
we were
Yeah.
talking about that last night,
Yeah.
because we have to take ourselves out of the equation. It's not we're serving, to the Lord and to bring him glory. That's what but we shouldn't be taking um responsibility for that, for that happening. It's the glory of the Lord that we need to present to people so that they can follow a path to, salvation, or whatever it happens to, be. Um,
I got a great example here for you.
okay.
Okay. Let's just take Instagram. If you're on Instagram and you're going through the feed, they they'll give you stuff that you shouldn't be looking at. They'll give you stuff that, you got to say, not interested,
Right.
and you have to purposefully do that. Not interested, or, it'll keep coming. Just a bit, oh, you spent a little bit too much time watching this. Oh, we're going to give you a bunch of that. So you got to be careful
Hmm.
when you're on Instagram. I mean, that pasture has got little bits of good stuff, and
Mm.
some of it's really good stuff. Okay,
Hmm.
and hopefully I post good stuff,
Yeah. Right.
but you have to really graze around to find it. It's not like so blatant all the time. So in other words, there are weeds that are along with the good grass,
Yes. Right.
and so have to graze where the grass is. You have to go where the grass is. But when you see the weeds, you got to just say, not interested, and go where the grass is. That makes
Well, you
sense?
have to be discerning enough to know that this is a weed and this is not the way you should, follow. Because I know that
Well,
you've sent me
yeah.
information on Instagram
It's the cram.
about people about people following Muslims, actually following, the Lord, because they've had these dreams, about Christ, and
Yeah.
they suddenly found. I mean,
Did you read? You saw the one this morning?
mhm, 100.
200 Muslims overnight.
Yes.
Overnight, had a dream of Jesus and came to these people that were helping them out and said, "We want to hear more." Wow.
That's pretty powerful stuff. I mean, because, but that information doesn't get out.
That was in Gaza.
Oh, I didn't. Oh, it was in
It
Gaza
was
then.
in Gaza
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay, wow, that's pretty cool.
because yeah, because what's happening right now is Hamas is stealing people's provisions. So you have to be
Right.
really careful. I mean, even when you give people stuff, you know, you try to help them out. They're coming in and under gunpoint or threat of
Hmm.
violence, they will steal what it is that you were just given so that they could eat.
But that information doesn't come out. You have to sort of dig a little bit, and then,
Yeah, it
if
pops up from time to time, yeah.
yeah, because if you
But it's a glorious thing, and to me, if you don't spend a lot of time reading or
right.
putting in front of you the garbage that could hurt you, or um, then you can really get some really good. I just don't let it get in me. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like water's off a duck's back. People say, I just let it go.
Yeah.
I mean, because that can happen to you anywhere. That can happen to you on the freeway. That can happen to you at the grocery store. You know, something happens, somebody says something, you see something, it doesn't matter, but it could cause you to stumble one way or another. If you just let it go past you and not stop it, hold it, freeze frame it, and cradle it, you know what I'm saying? Because that's what
Hmm.
happens. We keep it right here.
right.
and then becomes part of who we are. Not a good thing until you get rid of it, and then you gotta get rid of it. So it's better just to let it just pass and go somewhere else.
Easier said than done for some people.
Absolutely. I'm
Yeah, I
not
mean, because
not
well,
arguing that point.
yeah, the classic the classic the classic example is, when the COVID, epidemic came out, 3 or 4 years ago.
Mhm.
People were following, whatever medical advice they were getting about taking the shots, or, the vaccinations or whatever,
Right.
and it continues to this day, about, "Oh, we have this new strain," or whatever, that sort of thing, and people followed that, um blindly because they didn't do the research and whatever. They just figured, "Oh, okay, well, this must be right," because I know I think I've talked about this before, but my friend, Steve MacArthur has a facility, a senior facility that he's the administrator of,
Yeah.
and so the people there, are, like, in their 70s, 80s, that are there, in the facility, and all of them, most of them, I guess, not all of them, but most of them, took the booster shots, that were, given after the initial vaccinations. And I would say, 80% of them passed away after they took the booster shots, maybe because they had underlying health symptoms, but still, they all followed taking the booster shots because they figured, okay, this will be good for me or whatever. See, that's what I've said, in the past. If you don't do the research and if you don't look into it, I mean, if you didn't send me the reels that you send me, I wouldn't know half of this stuff, but then when I look at it and I say, "Oh, wow,
Yeah,
I
just
d"
and you gotta pick the stuff that makes sense because some of that stuff is, like, total wacko stuff,
right.
you know?
But people are following the wacko stuff more so than they're following the stuff that makes sense.
Right.
Because of, okay, conspiracy theories or, whatever it happens to be,
Go ahead and say it, aliens.
oh, okay. Yikes.
I'm just kidding, I don't wanna go there.
No, no, I know, but it's really just, it's very interesting that I think we've talked about this before about the manipulation of the media, and I'm coming to believe that more and more because the media puts out whatever they wanna put out, as far as, whatever the news story happens to be. And, okay, you take it at face value, but unless you do the research as to what's going on, like you brought up just a moment ago about the fact that the 200 Muslim men, in Gaza were accepting Christ because of the dreams that they all had.
Or they were accepting or they all had the dream, so that's yeah,
I mean,
overnight, 200, and so that's they wanted to know more. I mean, I don't know how many actually got saved, but that's the, information that I got.
okay, well, that's the start of the, discernment or whatever. They're deciding for themselves,
Right,
and that's the thing that we have to. That's where discernment really comes in because you really have to know, okay, is this false or is this, true?
right,
But you have to do the research. I mean, there are all sorts of, scams and things like that, where people are, victimized for whatever reason because there's just a little bit of truth in what they're saying,
yeah.
but yet when you uncover the layers of what's being said, you find out, it's not as good as it
Not as
looks,
true, yeah, yeah.
and so I just maybe I'm just a blanket, no, because I hope to know better, but you fall for things like that. I mean, I know that, in the recent past, that there was, these people that I know, that, their, their Instagrams or whatever were hijacked by this group of people, that were trying to
Oh,
lead me down the path to, asking for money, if you get $500,000, you just have to pay a delivery fee, for something like that, and I said, And I'll be very transparent. I almost fell for it. I almost fell for it, but I didn't, because I found out, some I don't remember how, but I found out this was false. And so, and then because I asked the people involved, I said, did you send me this message? And he said, no. I said, uh-oh. So I knew that, that
Yeah.
this was, a scam. But I mean, fortunately, I had the wisdom that the Spirit said, you better ask these people whether or not they sent the messages or not.
It wasn't a Nairobi prince that was trying
Yeah.
to trying to bring
So,
some cash into
anyways,
the United
are
States.
you led to go to the place to graze, the right place to graze?
The Bible's a good place.
Yes.
That's a good grazing area.
There you go. So that's what you have to, you have to be, you have to be discerning. You have to, look at it at face value, but don't accept it. Just realize that maybe, maybe you need to do a little bit of research on here as to whether or not it's for you or not. And because there are people that do some really unscrupulous things these days, and people, fall for it. So the question you have to ask: are you a sheep that follows the Lord's voice, or are you a sheep that follows what everybody else wants to do?
Or wolf in sheep's clothing.
A wolf in sheep's clothing. Yes, because it was so weird because at the beginning of the COVID, everybody was hoarding things, right?
Yeah, like
I mean,
like
that was so weird because
yeah, let's not
they
hoard food. Let's hoard toilet paper.
that's exactly what I was going to bring up, and I'll tell you what happened. Because people went to Costco, and
Oh,
Costco is
yeah.
known for their you know bulk
Right. Bulk
purchases,
buys,
right?
yeah.
So when people found out, well, maybe I shouldn't have hoarded this much, they went back to Costco and they asked, could I return this? And they said, no way. So they wasted their money, hoarding things.
Or or they can give it away, or they could have
Yeah.
enough for the rest of their
And then
living
and then the
days.
same thing happened. Jeez. And the same thing happened at Y2K. Those of
Oh,
us who
I
were
remember that.
around,
Yeah.
at that point, they did the same thing. They hoarded things, it spread like wildfire. They said, oh, there's not going to be enough of this or that or whatever.
Computers are gonna stop working. The sky is falling. The sky is falling.
Right. Exactly. And so the one thing that I fall back on is about in John 10:10, which, to paraphrase, the Lord Jesus came to us to give us an abundant life.
To give us life and life more abundantly.
Right.
Yeah.
So if you follow that reasoning, you won't get into any trouble because you're going to be following the Lord's voice, and then you're going to benefit from that. So basically, what I'm saying is follow the Lord's voice, read the Bible, and get the benefit of that because that's the only thing that makes sense in this day and age, in my opinion. Somebody might disagree with that. I don't know. But in any case, I sincerely hope that you have a wonderful Christmas season. Merry Christmas to everyone
And
and
Happy
Happy New
New
Year as
Year.
well. And
We're looking forward to seeing you next year.
absolutely, that is correct. So in January, either the 2nd or the 9th, depending on how far along we are, we'll be in our new studio at 77 Morrow Road in Atascadero.
But look for Mark. He may be doing his own, you know, broadcast on over his phone. Who knows? In his kitchen or something. You never know. So just stay tuned. We'll keep you posted.
Yes, because this is where we started 6 years ago. Believe it or not, I did it on my phone on Facebook Live, um, in my late mother-in-law's house in an office, and that's where it all started 6 years ago. But and it's developed into a clarion voice. So we hope that you've enjoyed this today. If you've liked the video, please share it with somebody, and We hope that you'll look at my blog on clarionvoice.com. And then also, if you hit the bell for future notifications, you'll be able to get the benefit of what we do here on A Clarion Voice. Enjoy today, and we will see you in 2024. Thank you very much for your support again. This is Mark Sobowitz and Mike Donaldson and Debbie Buckheim for A Clarion Voice.